Oh, chapter 35, King's Cross. Harry can feel himself laying down. He can feel, things around him. He's like, where am I? He's closed his eyes. His eyes are closed. He realizes he's still able to move. And he's like, so I must be somewhere. And he like slowly opens his eyes. He gets up. He's looking around him, and it's like all vapor and mist. He doesn't know where he is at all, and he's just like moving through this vast room as it's opening up, kind of shaped like a dome overhead him. And then he sees something that makes him like sick. It's like a little baby, but like it looks disgusting. And he's like, "What is that?" And he doesn't want to get close to it, but then he just slowly edges towards it, and he looks at it, and it's this nasty little creature that's making noises. And then Dumbledore pops up. It says, "You can't help it." And Dumbledore is here, and Harry smiles like he's happy. Not, I guess, I wouldn't say happy to see Dumbledore, but it's Dumbledore. Like, that's a close person in Harry's life, even though all the things he's done. And so then, like, two chairs pop out of nowhere, and they go and sit down, have a conversation. And in this conversation, they just talk about certain things. Harry's like, am I dead? Dumbledore's like, yes and no. Like, he explains to Harry that he is dead. He accepted that he was going to die. He fully accepted this, and that was a big part in him actually being still alive. And it's because of in his blood, his mom, you see that shield protection charm on him, and it's in his blood. And in that, since Voldemort had used Harry's blood to revive himself, then that made their bond that much stronger. Like the way Dumbledore described it, like it doubled the bond. They already had a bond because Harry had become another Horcrux because Voldemort's soul had split apart when the spell bounded back to him, and when Voldemort tried to kill Harry the first time. So his spell had made Harry into another Horcrux. So Harry, in turns, needed to die for Voldemort to become that much more weaker. And Harry's trying to process all this, so he's like, I needed to die for this to happen. And now even like their wands being unbonded together, like their bond together is so strong now that Dumbledore is like, now that his life is now bonded to your life. So yes, crazy things that have come out. And then he also explains the relationship of the wands and the twin cores, and that Harry's wand basically maybe absorbed an essence of Voldemort's wand, and that's what made it more powerful and made it like, automatically home in on Voldemort when they did fight each other the next times after the Goblet of Fire. And that's why his wand destroyed Lucius's wand, but it's only a guess. Dumbledore also said, I guessed. Like, he's just basing this off like speculation. Like, he's like, I didn't know for sure that, if you died, that this would happen, but I just made a guess. So he's just playing with Harry's life, like, let's see what happens. Terrible. Terrible. But then he goes on to explain his side of things. He basically just tells Harry, you're a better man than me. I'm a weak man. Basically, he says, I'm a weak man. I love power, and I let it get the best of me. And he explains, his life growing up. He's like, Harry, you probably know about all these things, but I'm going to explain it to you. And Harry just listens, and he just explains, his thought process on everything. and that he did think those things about like muggles should be like below. He thought all those things. He actually did, and he was actually on Grindelwald's side for a good amount of time. Even though he knew how bad of a person Grindelwald was, he was on his side because of the Hollows, and he had an obsession with Deathly Hollows and with Grindelwald as well. Grindelwald's obsession was different. Grindelwald wanted to make an army of, the undead, magical bodies. He wanted to make an army of that. Not Baltimore. Dumbledore was like, nah. We can't do that. We can't do that. So that's kind of where it's splintered, and also with Dumbledore's sister dying, that was also another factor, because after that happened, then their relationship became splintered because Dumbledore was left to deal with his sister dying and all that stuff, and Grindelwald went on doing his plans, and Dumbledore didn't really come to fight Grindelwald until like it was time, until enough had been done, enough death had happened. Then he was like, okay, I gotta take out Grindelwald, because he did hear that Grindelwald had the Elder Wand. This confirms that Grindelwald did have the Elder Wand, and Dumbledore got it off him. And Dumbledore was like, I knew Voldemort would come and get the wand from me at some point. But the other two pieces of the Hollows, Dumbledore does also confirm that Harry is a direct descendant of one of the brothers in the story that had the cloak. And that's why Harry's dad had the cloak. And then Dumbledore took it off him because he was curious about the cloak and wanted to see, its properties and all that. And yeah, crazy. And then also with the Resurrection Stone, Dumbledore knew he would use it for bad, not for different things than Grindelwald did, but he would not use it for like good intent. Dumbledore wanted to bring back his family, and not supposed to use Resurrection Stone to bring back people that are in peace. And he tells Harry that Harry is the true master of death. That's what the thing is about the Hollows. Like, that makes you the master of death, because if you have all three, then you're basically invulnerable. And Dumbledore was like, I was very power hungry, and he's like, I could not even trust myself, and that's why I got the wand, because I was power hungry. And he's like, I was not worthy of the Resurrection Stone or the cloak, because I wanted power and those things. So Dumbledore is really showing his true character to Harry. He's showing everything. He's putting it all out there. And Harry is still defending him. At this point, Harry's not mad at him anymore. He's just like, Harry's accepted who Dumbledore is. And that's one of the great things about Harry's character, that's showing here. He's accepted who Dumbledore is, who Dumbledore was, and who Dumbledore is now. And that's one of the good things about Harry, the true good nature of Harry. And at the end of their conversation, he just asked Dumbledore, like, what if I decide to stay? Like, Dumbledore's like, it's your choice if you want to go back, and if you want to go back or stay. And he calls this place, Harry calls it King's Cross, the place they go for the station, a train station, because it's kind of similar to that, and it's kind of like probably like an in-between. And then he asked Dumbledore, is this all in my head, or is this real? And he's like, if you ask that, Harry could just assume that this is all real. And it's nice to get to have this conversation with Dumbledore, and I feel like now he's ready to go back and get back into the battle and hopefully be able to defeat Voldemort.